You ever just feel like you look lopsided? Sorry, I'm just, ugh. I feel like I look lopsided, but whatever, it's fine. We're going with brown. We're gonna get right into it. I keep hearing and seeing the name Jasmine. Like, I'm lighting jasmine incense right now. That's what I needed to do. Look. I'm a hot mess. That's why you're here. We get along in that way. Love, purity, spiritual awakening, and divine connection, often considered a gift from God. And then it was just loud, like, this is a gift. This person is a gift from God. So, Jasmine can be significant. Has to be significant. Maybe your name is Jasmine. I don't know. I don't think I know personally any Jasmines. Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. So we're gonna do a Taino reading today. And it's gonna be a guide. So I'm speaking to a Caribbean person. And my left ear. That was crazy. So we're gonna be reading from this. I pulled 2 cards, the Bohike and the Coaties. And this is of the axe. There's aggression energy. So the number 2. And in this book, it is referring to the second semi in this book. And that semi is Atabe, the heart of life. It says here, Atabe, the earth mother and goddess of fertility, represents the nurturing, sustaining force of creation. Just as the heart circulates life-giving blood through the body, Atabe circulates the essence of life, water, fertility, and abundance through the earth. She's the counterpart of Jaja, giving form and substance to his divine will. Known by various names, including Kaguana or Huabanse, Atabe embodies both the gentle giver of life and the stormbringer when balance is disrupted. She reflects a Taino understanding that creation requires harmony between nurturing and destructive forces. I'm doing like a 2-spirit reading. I'm already feeling like that's where it's going. Atabe's presence is etched into sacred spaces across the Caribbean. Archaeological evidence reveals carved semi-stones, statues, and ceremonial objects dedicated to her worship. One prominent example is the Caguana Ceremonial Park in Utuado, Puerto Rico. Dating back to 1200 to 1500 CE, this site features stone circles and petroglyphs that depict Atabe as a female figure with open arms, symbolizing fertility, renewal, and divine embrace. In Hispaniola, the Enriquillo Basin contains caves adorned with fertility symbols, believed to honor Atabe as the giver of water and life. These caves, often situated near rivers, symbolize the womb of creation, a theme echoed in Taino spirituality. Geologically, regions where Atabe was worshipped include fertile valleys, rivers, and springs. In Puerto Rico, the Rio Tanama and Rio Grande de Loiza were considered sacred water sources directly tied to Atabe's nurturing spirit. Like, a very abundant person is who I'm talking to. Like, a very abundant person that is willing to give of every conceivable resource to keep their family safe, to have the life of their dreams, to, yeah, you are an incredibly abundant person. Like, you are, yeah, you really do want to do, like, you really want to do work in the world, in a dying world. Like, you see what's going on and you're like, I have to keep fighting. I'm still gonna try. I'm gonna do everything that I can. And yeah, you're willing. That's crazy. Atabe symbolizes the heart, the giver and sustainer of life. Just as the heart pumps blood to nourish the body, Atabe provides water to nourish the earth. This symbiotic relationship highlights her dual nature, the compassionate mother who provides for her children, and the stormbringer who restores balance when harmony is broken. When she transforms into Huavanse, the goddess of hurricanes, she embodies destruction that clears the path for new life. This mirrors the natural cycle of our agriculture. Storms and floods replenish the soil, ensuring future abundance. I'm hearing Oya as well. And we're going to read about that one, so we'll be here reading together for a while. And we'll see what happens, what comes of this video. Sorry, I'm just like tilted all the way up to the top of this painting. You can't even see my sick ass shirt. Connections to other religions, or religious creation principles. It says Atabe's principles of fertility and creation resonate across global spiritual traditions. In the Bible, Atabe reflects aspects of the earth's nurturing role as described in Genesis 1:12. The earth brought forth vegetation, and God saw that it was good. Like Atabe, the earth is both mother and provider. In Egyptian spirituality, Atabe parallels the goddess Aset or Isis, who nurtures, protects, and ensures fertility. Both goddesses embody motherhood and cosmic harmony. In Hinduism, Atabe aligns with Prithvi, the earth mother goddess who sustains all life and represents abundance. In Greek spirituality, Atabe mirrors Gaia, the primordial earth goddess who gave birth to the heavens, oceans, and all life. In Indian traditions, Pakmama serves as a striking counterpart to Atabe. Both are revered as mother goddess who bless the land with fertility while demanding respect and balance. Across these traditions, the mother goddess is central to creation, embodying life-giving forces and the interconnectedness of all existence. There are some geological regions of worship. It says here, Atabe was primarily worshipped in regions with fertile landscapes and water sources, reflecting her connection to agriculture and life. Caguana Ceremonial Park, Utuado, Puerto Rico, the Rio Luisa Basin, a sacred waterway in Puerto Rico, Cuevas de las Maravillas in the Dominican Republic, containing petroglyphs of Atabe valleys and springs in Cuba's fertile regions. These locations highlight Atabe's role as the provider of water and fertility, with rituals often held near rivers, caves, and agricultural fields. The Taino viewed such places as direct manifestations of her divine presence. The closing reflection says Atabe, as the heart of the body, represents the sacred flow of life and the harmony of creation. She teaches us that balance is essential between giving and taking, nurturing and restoring. In honoring Atabe, the Taino acknowledged the interconnectedness cycles of fertility, destruction, and renewal. The story of Atabe reminds us that the earth is both mother to be cherished and a force to be respected. As we journey to the next semi, we begin to see how each body part and its corresponding deity reveals a deeper truth about the sacred rhythms of existence. We're going to read Huabanse, which is the arms of chaos, next. And I say that because a Bohike is like a spiritual entity, like they're priest. I'm trying to say it in like a way that could be understood, but like they are the spiritual kind of leaders alongside the cacique and the caciques, or the chiefs, basically. Like they did that alongside each other, and oftentimes two spirit people were in positions like that spiritually, where we the duality of us was really important, and was integral to the community. So there's some duality here, so I'm going to go ahead and read that one as well. And this is the Arms of Chaos. And this is the dual aspect of Atabe, which is the giver energy, the Jasmine that we're talking about here. Gift from God type of energy, love, purity, divine connection, spiritual awakening, and all that. It also says it's used to enhance meditation, encourage relaxation, purify spaces of negative energy, and deepen spiritual awareness. The scent is associated with the moon, femininity, and increasing prosperity. So yeah, heavy LGBTQ plus community energy, very much like multiplicity, duality, like definitely my realm. In that way, I can see why we would be like, we have these two, but there's also there's some sneak stuff too. There's something aggressive in it, and both sides of you are being called to action, I think. It says the Huabanse, the goddess of storms and hurricanes, represents the arms, the forces that extend outward to destroy and restore balance. As the Lady of Winds, she is both feared and revered, embodying the chaotic energy of hurricanes that cleanse and reshape the earth. Her role reflects the power of action, arms that can build, protect, or tear down to begin anew. Wabanse is often depicted as a swirling force, her name echoing the destructive winds she commands. She is the wrathful form of Atabe, showing that the nurturing Earth Mother can also transform into a force of destruction when balance is disrupted. Her storms are not random acts of cruelty, but necessary forces of renewal, clearing the land for new life to emerge. So, you're willing to knock all this shit over to ensure that balance is restored, because you know what your baseline is. I get that. Hell yeah. Okay. The worship of Wabanse is evident in Taino ceremonial art and cave petroglyphs throughout the Caribbean. Her swirling, spiral-like form appears in many cavings, symbolizing the dynamic and cyclical nature of hurricanes. Cueva de Indio in Puerto Rico features carvings of swirling figures believed to represent Huabanse. These spirals reflect her movement as both wind and storm. In Hispaniola, similar carvings have been found near Enriquillo Basin, where hurricanes historically hit the hardest, suggesting deep reverence for her power. The regions where Huabanse was honored align with hurricane pathways in the Caribbean, including coastal areas of Puerto Rico, Loíza, and Utuado. So these are consistent. Loíza and Utuado. The Yaquel del Norte River Basin in the Dominican Republic, eastern Cuba, where strong winds often reshaped the landscape. Geologically, these areas feature caves, open plains, and river basins prone to flooding, natural spaces where Huabanse forces were most visible. The Taínos saw these destructive events as sacred, a physical manifestation of her divine will. Huabanse represents the arms of chaos, forces that act decisively to bring about change. Like arms that reach out to tear, build, or embrace. Her storms are actions that restore harmony by disrupting stagnation. Yeah, you'll knock all this shit over. Yeah, her dual role as both destroyer and restorer reflects the symbiotic relationship between chaos and creation. Without destruction, the earth cannot be cleansed. Without storms, new life cannot take root. She teaches that while chaos may seem destructive, it often paves the way for transformation and growth. Connections to other religious principles, Wabanse's destructive power mirrors similar principles of chaos and renewal in her spiritual traditions. In the Bible, the story of the flood, Genesis 6:9 and 8:22, reflects a divine cleansing of the earth through water. Wabanse, like the flood, uses storms to restore balance and purity. In Hinduism, the goddess Kali represents both destruction and rebirth. Like Wabanse, Kali's chaotic energy tears away the old to allow for transformation. In Egyptian spirituality, the god Seth embodies chaos and storms, opposing stagnation and preserving cosmic balance through disruption. In Norse spirituality, the figure Ragnarok symbolizes destruction as a prelude to a new and purified world. Wabanse reflects this cyclical balance between chaos and creation. You will really knock all this shit over. Ragnarok? These... Jasmine, what? Oh my god. Jesus, Ragnarok, my guy. Oh my gosh, Wabanse reflects this cyclical balance between chaos and creation. Had to read that again. Bro, that energy was... Thanks for letting me know. Jeez. You just needed to be seen. These parallels reveal a universal understanding of destruction as a sacred force, a necessary action that leads to renewal and harmony. Wabanse was worshipped in areas vulnerable to hurricanes and strong winds. These regions became sacred as they reflected her divine influence. Cueva Ventana and Cueva del Indio, Puerto Rico, caves where petroglyphs depict her swirling form. Then there's Enriquillo Basin in Hispaniola, a region prone to hurricanes and flooding, seen as manifestations of her power. That had sparkling water in it. Sorry. Then there's Sierra Maestra Mountains in Cuba, a place where winds and storms often sweep through the valleys. There's, it says here that the Taino believe that these events were not random, but sacred interactions between the natural and spiritual worlds. Rituals were performed in caves and ceremony grounds to appease Wabanse and ensure balance. So, you're aware. Closing reflection. Wabanse as the arms teaches us the sacred role of chaos in the cycles of her life. Her storms remind us that destruction is not always the end, but the beginning of transformation. Just as arms can build or destroy, her power clears away the old so that the new may emerge. In honoring Wabanse, the Taino acknowledged the delicate balance between creation and chaos. As we continue to explore each semi, we see how the body and the spiritual forces it represents reflect the eternal dance of destruction and renewal. I don't know, bro. I don't know either. For what it's worth. Oh, really? This reading is so interesting. These two together feels... Okay. We have the new moon. Looking within can reveal the mysteries of the universe. Oh, we're about to unlock you? What the hell? What are we unlocking here? What are we unlocking here? Rigatoni pasta. We'll do this together. Has been the theme of my life lately. I don't know why. It's just been coming up lately. That one wanted it. If you insist on your price, people will forget your value. Are we experiencing ego death, but also like an ascension? Because that's what it feels like. Obara. Regent Orisha is Oshosi, Loguende, and Shango. Keywords: lacks initiative, uncompromising, proud, talks too much and doesn't listen to people, naive, trusts too much, tendency to lie and fantasize, tendency to depression, especially due to childhood trauma. This is interesting because this is your ego death, but this is also what you've had to deal with. Interesting. The influence of Odu Obara and its negative aspect brings about the most puerile nuances of your personality, reinforcing your stubbornness, naivety, and sometimes tyranny when your wishes are not met. All of this, in fact, can be defined in a single word: anxiety. By denying your feelings, you delude yourself into expecting the people around you to keep up. When they're not able to understand your feelings and actions, you get frustrated and flirt with paranoia and depression. As a child in the body of an adult, you tend to hold others accountable for your actions and always expect someone to come to the rescue and solve the problems around you, especially those you caused yourself. Life is good and should be lived well, but it is necessary to accept that sometimes the demands of adult life will overcome your dreams and desires, and it's time to pay attention to those demands so you can get back on track. As an Odu linked to wealth and abundance of resources, its negative influence indicates a lack of control over your finances, often bordering on uncontrollable consumerism. Like any energy source, prosperity can go through times of ebb and flow, and if you don't prepare, you'll end up repeatedly mired in bureaucratic problems, legal disputes, and debts. You can and should dream bigger and bigger, but you must also accept reality and understand that each thing has its time, and usually that's not going to come as fast as you want. Here's the biggest challenge for your inner revolution: to put aside the fantasy and take, once and for all, responsibility for your actions and decisions, including when you decide not to make any. For everything in life, there is a price to be paid. The reward for taking your life into your own hands is full freedom, and the pleasure of being truly free is far greater than the setbacks fate may bring. Fuck. Shadow Meditation says, considering all life's goals and relationships, I'm living now. Do I understand the difference between the cost and the value of all the things I do, have, and pursue? And based on the way I present myself to the world, do I offer my price or my value to others? So, you get it. Like, you have ultimately the control over your own life, and you got that. And you decided to make the decision to be in, like, an alignment kind of thing. But, like, because you understood it fundamentally as somebody who has that tendency to want to not have to do the hard work, it's like, now that you've done it and you know it was, like, annoying, but, like, on the back end it actually worked out really great and you like it better, you know? Like, I sound insane, but I understand the duality of, like, I am making, like, we are all making the choice to be, to do as well as we possibly can. And so, like, let's just do that and stop making excuses for being dicks. And you're saying that because it's like, I could easily do this and worse kind of thing. And you're just like, and it would really ruffle some things up. Ooh. Do you need to talk about something? So, the new moon, looking within, can reveal the mysteries of the universe. I feel like we need to talk, bro. If a negative Odu card represents itself with the new moon, it's time to look deeper into your soul, investigating what happened in the near past, so you're facing these issues right now. Only this way will you be able to reveal the secret possibilities that the new moon keeps under its shadows, and in the near future shine brightly when the waxing moon rises. So, you could do worse, but you did do something. Okay. And it did shake some things up, but also, like, your next step is, like, okay, you know what I'm capable of, but I'm not gonna keep, like, reacting to this. Like, it's gonna start becoming a you problem. You've discovered that the loop gets people confused. When you unfucking plug, when you unfucking plug, it's just them by themselves, destroying themselves. And they can't blame you anymore. You figured it out. So your path is like, it's just gonna be all on you. Because I can unplug. This will just be you making a complete ass of yourself. I could do worse. I have a right to do worse. Others probably have even bigger of a right to do worse. Oof. Jasmine. Gift from God. So you're in your... Yeah, this is new moon. It's talking about, you know, associated with the moon and femininity, increasing prosperity, but also, like, fucking shit up. And sometimes in your most spiritual spaces, it is in your darkest space too, I'm gathering. So you're like, look, I am aware of who I am. I am self-aware. Yeah. You figured it out, and you're on this different path. Now that you unplugged, you realize that, like, it's not just, like, the one time you unplug and then you go back to old patterns. It's like, you're realizing that along that path, this is so different that, like, you just gotta start unplugging as you go the different way. And it's tough at first until you know, you recognize the unplugging. Eventually it destroys itself. It needs you to sustain itself. you figured that out. You're in a really, like, interesting place because, like, you could make all this shit be done. Whatever the shit is. You have the upper hand in a way that, like, you understand that, but also, like, your shadow self, you know, does not run the show, so you don't run the risk of being everything that you hate, because you believe in the unplugging. But you dealt with and were very much that way at one point, where, like, you plugged into it, you subscribed to it. Like, you fucked up, I get that. And, like, you cannot go back. I'm hearing someone's ancestors, which is why it definitely, like, the Taino deck was definitely someone's ancestors. Like, you better fucking not go back. Not with all of that knowledge and wisdom that you have. You better fucking not. Don't fuck this up. Don't let your pride get involved. If you see that there's other things that need to unplug, sneaking, you know, just hiding up in there, like, get that shit cleared. And also, like, that's what you've had to deal with. Like, you learned it. You learned how to navigate it. You can honestly say you never felt like it was natural, which is why you are what you are in a most genuine way, right? Like, you are choosing to be this out and about and genuine and open. You know, you are definitely, you know, you will knock all this shit over. I keep hearing that. You will knock all this shit over. And you will justifiably knock all that shit over. On some, like, you know what, this needed to change anyways. Like, it's giving Jesus just whipping people outside a synagogue. Like, justified. Like, it needed the clearing, you know what? Like, it is what it is. And also, you can't go back. There are certain things that are now in place, and you can feel it. Now these things are in place. You have a right to warn people, but you are no longer their karma. They are their own. Did that hurt to hear? They are their own karma now. That's for them. They are their own. If you insist on your price, people will forget your value. Get out of the game. Now you know. If you were today years old hearing it, that's on them now. Those are the chances they want to take. Fine. Okay. So, I don't know. Karma, right? That's crazy. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see that being a possibility with everything going on. To feel empowered in the naturalness of something like that, and then something that, like, you feel like has not come around in a good way for you in a while, but people are getting away with some crazy shit with you, and you have to believe, like, it's been seen. For someone like an ancestor, it's been seen. We see you. it's been noted. It's cataloged, your angels. Like, all of it as. And you've made your peace with that. You made your bed with that. And you're still making this choice. I just had a goddess bath. And I feel relaxed. So maybe we're not doing makeup. Maybe you just needed to hear raw and unfiltered from, like, I'm getting text messages from my best friend. Maybe I'm gonna ditch you for my best friend. Maybe you need to, like, go connect. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that the ancestors and your guides, your angels, God themselves is like, it's time to connect. And it's not like you need to go be social and, like, facilitate. You need to just absorb and connect in that way. Just absorb and see what happens. See what happens. Just absorb. Like, stare at a fucking tree, maybe. I'm talking to someone who needs to probably be hanging out with some trees. Probably also talking to, like, someone who needs to take a goddess bath. I keep talking about them. If you haven't heard me talk about it, like, 1,000 times. It's just some Epsom salt, you know, whatever is pH balancy for you, put it in there, make yourself feel fancy, turn the lights off in the bathroom, and just sit there for 45 minutes with the water at whatever setting makes you feel the most vibed. Do it. That's what I think we need to be doing today. I'm never going to, like, claim super consistency with this channel when it comes to, like, what we're going to be doing together. Because we're all chaos gods in this channel. That's what we started off with, and that's what keeps coming, you know? Like, the duality of, like, knowing what balance is and also having the authority to fuck it up. Like, that means we're not doing that means we're not doing makeup. That means that we're just gonna sit with this. Maybe you can, like, phone a friend and just be like, what do you think that means to you? Like, if you knew that, then what? Let's loop it into the conversation of just being accountable to our community, because you know that you have it. And if not, then, like, you know, let's start manifesting you a community. But yeah. Take care of yourself, man. Do I have to tell you this I feel like I say this in every video. And also just remember to take care of yourself, like, bruh. Same. I'm not mad at you. Same. I get it. So, I hope you did something before we hopped on, and that you're just drinking water, or you're doing something while I'm talking your ear off and taking a little note here and there if any of this resonates with you. But yeah, gift from God. Wow. This was fun and insane. Bye.